All right. Hello, everyone. Brady, Charlie, Garrett here. Is it too soon to say I'm over the season? I messaged Charlie and I said, just start the effing podcast. I got something to say, and I do have something to say. I don't care if that peaked. Ear warning. Christmas. I'm sorry, spoilers. Christmas got to sit on the couch for about 10 rounds of this thing, however long. If there were 10 rounds in it, she got to sit for 8 of them. Popped up, went against Memphis, who can't count, apparently. And then she went against Davon, who can't count, apparently. Out like a king, yeah. So we'll talk about that.
It big time, man.
But Davon was rolling through that competition. She was, you could have had it all. And she didn't. She choked it. She threw it away.
28-3 type beat, down 3-1 type beat. Like, this was bad.
God, Christmas, of all people.
We were on the verge of a game-changing, moment.
That could have been a game-changing moment, 100%.
That was a game changer right there.
Everyone was thinking
it. Woman HOH is Christmas, who just is the worst.
And that would have been following one of the coolest moments of the season so far that we've seen, right? So it would have been such a great culmination.
What makes it worse is that we all were sitting there thinking, all right, Davon, all we need is for Memphis to somehow choke this. Let's get Davon versus Christmas. I'm sorry, just definitely the most clueless person in the house as far as just average intelligence. Christmas is not all there. She doesn't know what's going on. Maybe David. David's just as bad, and I got a gripe against David too because David hasn't tried in one single goddamn competition this entire season. He walked up there. Julie went up there. She said, more, less, or exactly this many birds, and he hit a button. He just hit a random button. David hasn't tried in a single competition. He's hitting. David went up there saying, you know what, man? I'm just going to hit a button, and I'm going to hope that it's right. David did not count. He didn't try in that comp at all. Garrett, why should I care about this season?
This season, I don't know, man. This is what this season does, and this is something the last season kind of did, but at least the last few weeks of last season were somewhat bearable, right? Because there was at least some people we could get behind, right? But this feels like how that felt for the first 8 weeks last year, and we're so far into it at this point. Why would you care about this season if you actually genuinely care about good gameplay, strategy, and making alliances that aren't just the people that are going to win competitions?
Yeah.
I mean,
sigh. God, this season. Is it possible this ends up being one of the worst?
Yes.
This is not an all-star season. This is a joke. Christmas volunteering to go on the block and then winning an HOH without hitting a button just sums it up, man.
The only good thing about this episode, in my opinion, was Cody going in there and saying, when he cast his vote, saying, Mr. Pre-Jury himself, the all-star of all-stars, Kaysar. Because it's true. Kaysar hasn't made it to jury, and he's been on multiple times, obviously. He's an all-star. And Kaysar is – how many times is someone going to show potential? There's no way David ends up back on another season.
Exactly. Okay, he just plays a big game he had no chance going in on this season, but that's another story. It's just
we'll talk about it. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Christmas won HOH, as we already talked about. Listen, it's another. I'm a big component of trying to push the show and hoping that it gets new fans. And if you're clicking onto this and this is the first time you've seen our podcast and we're just grumpy, I'm sorry. And you know what? I can't even say we. I am grumpy. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things where I'm so disappointed in the season because we had high hopes. But at this point, it isn't even that we had. I asked a question to Charlie last week. I said, is it that we're making this season out to be worse than it really is because we had high hopes for the season? And I think we all agreed that is a possibility. But now the season's it's not good. No one wants to play.
Look at Big Brother 20. That was a good season. We've had a good season recently.
And Bucks fans said, how did they not pick Tyler to pick until Final Four? Because Tyler has a Final Two with everyone in there.
I was saying to the TV, I'm like, they're going to let Tyler walk in and win this competition. We've been saying since the show aired, Tyler is the biggest target in the house. It didn't matter who's in it. You can have these winners. You can have anyone. Tyler's the best player. And
Tyler's been the best
season
player
again.
Yeah, he's playing a great game, and I get it, but I don't know, man. All right, so let's back up. Let's talk about the eviction. I tuned in. I got home, and I missed Christmas's speech, which Charlie I heard was iconic. Yeah,
It was probably the cringiest speech to date. It was brutal. Man.
It was a Christmas run.
I left.
Did they give her the Jingle Bell edit during her the speech?
No, but during the episode she got one. But I left the room. The speech was so cringy.
Also, for anyone that's asking, did this drive me to drink? Yes, it did. So
that's where the season is.
it's a Thursday night, and I got to teach tomorrow, but I'm finishing the bottle. More pre-jury birdies, more iconic than Cody could ever hope for.
I don't know. If Cody wins this season, you'll have a pretty good legacy.
Cody's a better player overall than
Cody
Kaysar.
will always have an asterisk on this season.
Kaysar is the more likable person.
Oh, absolutely.
But Cody is the better player. And I think Cody played a great game the first season, too, regardless of if you think that he rode Dan's coattails. I think Cody did what he needed to do to get to the final two. And he should have won the game. He just chose loyalty over
exactly.
over the money, really.
Yeah.
Which is rare that I disagree with you guys, all the people that are in our chat. It's rare that I disagree with you, but
which to me is I'm going to take the side of to me that makes him not that great of a player because he had the win in his hands. But it's
But I would also
Derek
say that
would
I
not
don't
have gotten
think
to the
you
final
can
two without Cody, and Cody would not have gotten there without Derek. So
I don't blame
they
you there,
deserve to
Funky
be there.
Monkey. I personally do not partake in the ganj. However, I could understand why that's needed right now. All right. You know what? Maybe I'm in a bad mood because my team and my softball team got smoked 16-0 in our opening day today. Maybe that's the thing too. So, season has gone downhill ever since Dan and Derek. God, what a different. I
was saying that to Charlie. Imagine if the mental warfare was the beginning of the season between instead of Cody and Memphis and Kaysar, basically, and I guess technically Ian in the background a little bit, but you don't know that while you're watching it until later, obviously. So, imagine if it was Ian and Kaysar's minds versus Dan and Derek's minds.
Yeah, but Derek said he'd be too big of a target.
I mean, he's not wrong, but we also see Tyler's
Will went
not
to that
even
house
really
twice.
been threatened at all, until recently. So that's I don't buy that argument. Yeah, you'd be a big target. I guess don't be you then. I don't know, then don't play. I guess that's the right option.
I think the disappointing thing is people wanted all-stars to come back and play a different. I like seeing people switch it up. I like seeing them switch. But you look at the case of Memphis and Cody. What are they doing? Oh, well, we made Final Twos day one. They got us to the end. So what are we going to do now? We're going to make Final Twos, and we're going to sit behind Tyler, and we're going to win the game. And that's their strategy, which it's okay. Derek ruined Big Brother. I disagree. Something that I thought it's just something that I liked, though, about this episode is we got a little edit of Ian. Ian knows what's going on. He's just not a very outspoken guy. I think that him and Kevin, that conversation they had by the hammock, knowing that we might get a perfect storm of Christmas trying to get Danny out, and Ian could be the key to pulling Danny in out of Danny's desperation and getting other people on their side and flipping something. So this week is not a complete goner. It's just because we see that 6 that was there, really the guys are still together. But Danny and Davon, Bailey, Bailey's sitting back. She's doing a smart thing. But Davon and Danny, that's going to come to blows very soon, Charlie. Do you think that happens this week, or do you think we get another boring week where Kevin goes home?
I hope it happens. Something they didn't touch on in the episode was Kevin did actually take that information and used it to himself. Kevin was smart about it.
Yep.
We saw Ian talk to Bailey. Bailey took that information and told Cody everything. It's just why it sucks, man.
See, the thing is about Kevin's current game is he has a game that's set up really well for someone that aligns yourself with stronger players, but he missed the boat on aligning himself with stronger players.
Yeah, I missed that boat.
That's why you see Christmas and Danny thriving so well until maybe Danny this week because she stirred up the wrong little bit of stuff. But that's why Christmas is in such a good position is because Christmas just aligned herself with the better players early on and Kevin didn't. Kevin decided to hitch his wagon to a bunch of people that are out of the house now, and that's how it happens. But you have to adapt if you're Kevin, and he's playing the game how he should be playing it because Kevin's not going to be a comp beast, but you've got to find people to pull in. I'm sorry, but you got to do something if you're Kevin at this point. And Ian.
Absolutely.
So
I was really hoping Ian would win, man. Davon
Yeah.
and Christmas. That's a heartbreaker. Especially if Davon leaves this week. Like, we're gonna look back on this and be like, man, that could have been
Yeah.
the moment.
And so this, I guess, technically is a live feed talk, but whatever. We had the yellers over the wall a couple days ago in the backyard, and the guy yelled with a bullhorn, said, Cody and Nicole are running the house, right? Something along the lines.
So,
Yeah.
Cody and Nicole are playing everyone.
Yeah. So they yelled, Cody and Nicole are playing everyone. So if people are wondering how Kaysar kind of got that nugget of information and how that became a talking point on the episode, CBS edited it like that, but that all stemmed from people hearing the yeller over the wall. And so Kaysar in his speech was at least interesting in trying to stir some stuff up. However, I don't think it's going to do much because he basically said, oh, all these people are working together that hang out together, which is always how Big Brother is. Yeah. Like, if he would have come out and been like, oh, yeah, I think, I don't know, David and Memphis are a final two. If he were to say something like that, then people would be like, oh, wow, where did he get that information? But he said all the stuff that we thought already. He said Cody and Nicole are together. Cody and Tyler are together. What else did he say? He said Memphis and Tyler, I think, something like that. And I mean,
about an all guys alliance with David.
Yeah, an all guys alliance. He basically kept saying groups of 2 or 3, but if you were to put all of them together, that's what the house really is right now. And so Kaysar had it figured out ish. The issue is he made the same mistake Janelle did, and Janelle called it when she went home last week. She said him trusting Memphis is going to bury him because Memphis is in the alliance, and as soon as Kaysar spilled everything to Memphis went right back to them, and that was all that was needed to get Kaysar out. So, Garrett, how do you, Charlie? You got the scores?
Yeah.
So Garrett, how do you feel about your team right now?
So if I was gonna lose any of the 4, probably the one in the least strong position was Kaysar. So I'm not as upset by that. Plus it's early points, so it's like, they may come back to be the points to get me later. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like I would have liked to have not lost anybody, but obviously there's no way. There was like about a 0% chance of a Christmas vote flip. So,
last year.
Let's be honest. Charlie's whole team is safe this week. There's no way anyone on Charlie's team's going home.
The thing is, I knew I was losing somebody this week, and both of them are I'd rather have the other 2. You know what I mean? Than the 2 that I was going to potentially lose. So that's where I was at. You know what I mean? Like I knew I wasn't probably losing Christmas. So, and she's in a good position.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. Christmas had an HOH in her season, right, Charlie? And didn't she get go on a weird power trip and didn't she
she won an HOH that was a running competition because every single person in the house threw it.
That's right. So didn't she have a power trip and she was a totally different person as HOH?
I think you're thinking of Bailey. Bailey was the one that really went on a power trip. Christmas she did whatever Paul told her, which I believe
true.
Her HOH week. Let me double check it, but
So the true HOH this week is Tyler. Can we agree?
I hope so, because that would mean Danny's the target. But something is telling me she's gonna put Bailey and Davon on the block. That's just I feel like her loyalty is gonna lie towards Nicole and Danny more. So I mean I think she's gonna be fed multiple things. So we'll see where her true allegiance lies, right?
Nicole's playing a sneaky good game, and Melissa brings up a good point, Garrett. She said, I'm shocked both winners made it the first 4 weeks. Are you shocked at that too, Garrett? It would seem like they would have been easy targets, right? But
I was shocked that we didn't at least get one week 1, going up on the block at least, right? Like you'd think we'd have at least gotten, unless I'm just misremembering who was on the block week 1. Because
neither of them have had to sweat at all.
Right. So but also people I think people recognize what Ian's doing, which is they know that he's a threat, but they're also but you can stay in a little bit longer because we know we can take you out if we need to because we have the numbers, They're comfortable with that for right now, even though they know he's scheming. It's just so crazy because you think you're right. You think they'd be the biggest targets, but then at the same time, they might be your biggest assets too if it comes to because they know how much of a position they're in, so they may just be a guaranteed vote for you if you have the power, So it's how do you look at it? It's like it all depends because it's such a weird. All Stars is such a weird game because everyone's on like that 10th level, like fourth dimensional thinking of how this game's working. They're all playing 5D chess and. Well, they're playing 5D chess. Some of them, at least they're trying. So, but I mean, so it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is what was supposed to happen. We just didn't realize it because of the perspective we have on the outside.
Charlie, I'm putting a timer on here right now. I need you to put on your CBS big boy pants. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Give me a pitch as to why I should watch Sunday and Wednesday's episode this week. Go.
The only reason is you got to hope Tyler can sway her. Because remember, Christmas notoriously in Big Brother 19, which Funky Monkey is the worst season ever. You can never change my mind. All she did was polish Paul's knob for 99 days. So hopefully
come on,
Tyler
man.
can have some power over her and convince her to maybe make a move with like Danny and Memphis. Or that's the only reason. Other than that, the season's horrible. This is not an all-star season. There were 4 all-stars. They should have never been brought back. You should have filled them up with first outs. And, yeah.
I think one of my favorite bits of comedy from this season is how Memphis thinks he's in complete control.
He kind of was to the pre-jury, but that's not going to matter in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Memphis ain't winning the game.
He burned so many bridges, his HOH, when he just did nothing. Memphis...
Yeah.
God, Memphis screwed up by not trying to keep Keisha.
Memphis will come in 5th when there's 4 younger people that are close because they were on the same season.
And Enzo. Tyler and Cody are my boys. What are you doing, Enzo?
Nah,
Who'd you get 3rd place to? Lane and Hayden, right? And look what he's doing again.
It's the older people that think that the younger people are going to end up picking them over each other. No, they're close. I remember there's a clear line of like modern Big Brother players and old school Big Brother players. Something that because the new school Big Brother players are all based around the old school players like to play the game. That's their favorite thing about Big Brother is playing the game and the game for game's sake. Whereas the newer people, it seems that they care more about social media following and using their platform to spew whatever political stuff that they have going on and all of that stuff. They care more about big picture after the house, what's going to happen to me and stuff like that, which is funny because the old school Big Brother players like Janelle, for example, Charlie and I were just talking about this today. Janelle is iconic. She's getting Cardi B, talking to her on Twitter.
Yeah, Cardi B's talking to her on Twitter.
And does Janelle give like nearly as many shits about her social media following as Christmas probably does? No.
Oh my God.
She just plays the game because she likes the game. And we as fans appreciate when they get on there to play the game. It's funny because going on there and trying to be likable and saying, oh, I love everyone in here and blah, blah, blah. That just makes you a cookie cutter house guest. It doesn't make you anything special. So going in there and being unique and playing the game for game's sake, that's why Derek, when we were speaking of Derek, we were talking about him earlier, that's why everyone likes Derek, because Derek was one of 2 game players in that entire season, and people enjoyed it. People appreciated him playing the game while everyone else sat around and, what do you say, polished his knob for the entire summer.
Oh, yeah. That is my Christmas. Christmas and Josh were so brutal with that against Paul. Yep. Which they were so unlikable, but we can talk about that. Let's talk about this BB basement. So it's a competition in the dark, and there's 3, powers that come from it, Julie said?
Tyler will win safety for 6 weeks or something. This
is when we find out Dan and Derek have secretly been dwelling in the basement this entire time, and we never knew. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine they saved the season. They're like, actually, guys, just kidding. None of this restart. No. But I mean,
it's gonna
maybe
be
there's a bomb down there so we can finally end the season.
Oh no!
Hey man, if you want this, all we need is someone to get COVID and the season's ended. So that's how.
Yeah, dude.
They reveal actually there was no sanitization the entire time.
That should be one of the tests. It should just be like an apple that someone took a bite out of that had COVID.
Instead of doing a vote at the end, they do a COVID test, and if either one of them has COVID, they lose automatically.
L. No, they get kicked out of the house. They said if someone.
Yeah,
someone comes in like with okay, yeah, I mean whatever, that makes sense. They're probably testing them then. I assume.
I mean, what do we? I don't like game breaking powers. I mean, the game definitely needs something, so I appreciate them doing something like the BB basement. The issue is how many people are there left in the house that we can actually root for? We can root for Ian. We can maybe root for Kevin if he starts doing something.
It seems like the wall yeller's actually kind of knocked his head in.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like he's playing a little bit.
Common thing, people yelling over the wall. Is that something that's happened over the years?
I hate to say it, but if David gets his act together, if David starts to not just sit there and trust Davon and Bailey, he wants to play the game. It's just not good.
Ian, Kevin, David, Bailey, and Davon, maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those 5, and then, but like I do not. I'll appreciate a Tyler or Cody win. I would appreciate it. That's fine. I don't want to see Enzo or Memphis or Christmas or Nicole or am I missing anyone? Danny.
How cool would it be if Christmas put up Cody and Nicole this week?
It won't.
Do you think like everyone would immediately respect her?
I'm not gonna get my hopes up. There's no point in getting my hopes up.
It's not gonna happen. But I think realistically, she's gonna put up Kevin and David. That's just what I see. That's going to be the. She's not going to create any blood, right?
Maybe fan skydive.
That's good. I laughed at that. I was like, that's awesome. That's what we need right now.
Hey,
we need a former player
18?
to be the skydiver. That way they can explain it properly.
Big
not that
Brother
we
18,
couldn't, but
dropped
like
a sex doll in the
we're not going to do it.
Remember that?
No.
Yeah, sex doll. God. Hey,
that
man,
would be amazing.
All I'm saying is if I had my middle schoolers that I teach all crammed into a house, they'd be more entertaining than this season. So put them in there with one phone and they can record TikToks.
If you guys watching the show didn't see the TV guide talking about this season, the website TV guide, they absolutely destroyed it. It was brutal to watch. They were like, yeah, this is not Big Brother All Stars.
Wow.
It really is Big Brother's second chance, which is kind of brutal.
What's better right now, Charlie? This season of Big Brother or the new Madden game?
Oof.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know, man. Trying to play a superstar KO in shotgun formation.
It's not good. It's not good.
In other words, it's not happening.
What?
The season is broken. The game's broken. What we need is. We just need Matt Riddle to win the #1 contendership on Sunday.
God, are we going straight into a wrestling podcast now?
All right, guys, this is the end of the Big Brother show. This is now back to Raw. No, I'm just kidding.
So, what do we think about that Adam Cole?
What do you think of that? What do you think of that match on next? No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Anyway, anything for the good of the cause. Can someone give me a fun fact in chat, please? We got 10 people hanging out with us right now. Can someone tell me something good that happened today? We need some positivity. I'll put it up and we'll talk about it. I'll give you a nice minute. Give me something something successful recently. I mean, let's do a little round table. All right, I'll start.
How about Cam Newton getting the captain spot?
Hey,
I'm cool with that. That's fine.
They announced him as a starting quarterback and the captain today.
I mean, I have as of tomorrow, I've officially completed 3 weeks of school. No one at my school has gotten COVID. No teachers, no students, no administration. And I'm teaching half online, half face to face. And teaching course online is a hell of a task. So I'm proud of myself for surviving. Charlie, what about you, man?
Is a hell of a task.
Give me a positive thing.
Football technically starts tonight, right?
Your DVDs came in.
At Bola, yeah. Finn Balor. There was some really good wrestling this week, and I think that's kind of made things.
Me and Charlie fell hard back into it, like real hard. We haven't missed a show since we started watching again.
I can appreciate it. How about you, Garrett? What's going on with you? Considering I never talked to you guys because I'm the old man, and y'all are the night shift on Xbox.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Brady, the only times I've seen you in the last month or two has been the show. It's crazy, but I mean, it's and we used to, and this is me and Brady have known each other for 5 years. We used to hang out like every day. Like this.
Yeah, but now I'm in bed at 11, and Garrett hops on at 1, and that's it.
Yep, exactly. He's not wrong. I get off at 12:30. I mean, that's what it is. But no, but like for me right now, recently, what I've been trying to do is like my boss at work has been doing these, like I have a new boss. I got a new supervisor recently, and she's really way better than my previous soup. And like she does this thing, like she had us all bring in these inspirational quotes this week. So I chose a Bruce Lee quote because Bruce Lee's like the most quotable person ever, like basically, more or less. Everything he says has been quoted pretty much by somebody. And it was just a really cool little moment we had there. I don't have any real success in my life right now.
I mean, your Cleveland I words are doing well, aren't they?
I don't want to talk about what Cleveland's been doing recently. Okay, look, the guy that I resemble is gone.
Oh,
they traded the guy that I resemble. Okay, I don't resemble him that much, but they traded him, and I mean we've traded out 2 pitchers.
Hey man, you're number 1 in the Central. That's all that matters. Red Sox are 12-25. Chris Benson was the first woman to win HOH or veto. Hey man, she's the best.
She didn't even hit the button. She didn't even hit the goddamn button.
She didn't do anything.
Imagine being given an HOH.
And she's gonna gloat about her HOH all season.
She's now been given 2 HOHs in her Big Brother career.
That's true. That's true.
She's never
that running competition.
She's never actually physically won an HOH. That's crazy. That's crazy.
There's like a list of 50 things we could say about Big Brother 19, which it's maybe a discussion we'll get into next week about some stuff that's happening this season that kind of resembles it, and it because we might need something to talk about when another good person goes home.
But, this has been the podcast the last few weeks. Oh well, the person we didn't want to leave left. So, oops.
I mean, and it happens. Top 3 worst seasons. Sure, yeah. You could objectively say this is top 5 worst season, and you could make the argument.
It's going down that path for sure. If Ian takes off and creates a big alliance that battles the cool kids club, it could be pretty cool.
There's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of people left in the game, but they got to make a move soon. And they're not stupid. They're all-stars. They've at least played the game before, all of them. They know that there's got to be a big alliance because it happens. I will tell you, I'm sick of the whole everyone vote how the HOH wants it to go, though. The HOH has no power after they nominate.
Which was a part of Christmas's speech, which I knew you would hate that. She was like, let's do what the HOH wants and keep Christmas joy.
Oh, Funky Monkey was asking, what are your things? And Ryan says top 5 worst seasons ever. So top 3 worst seasons in our opinions. I mean, some of those early seasons were pretty bad. I can't lie.
Do we count the racist seasons? 15 and 21?
Yeah, 15 was bad. But 15
was really bad.
But 15 at least had okay, I was talking to Charlie earlier. At least some of these seasons, we just need, in wrestling terms, we need a heel. That's what we need. Cody to just become the bad guy this season, so we at least have someone to root against.
We don't need people to root against to be racist. We need to actually kind of want to root against them.
Yeah, we want people like Josh. I hated Josh's guts. At least he made it interesting to watch.
I feel like Josh was kind of a good heel, as much as I dislike him.
Evil dick. He was a dick for a reason. He just.
I love that guy's persona was literally just he was basically a heel. He was just a bad guy.
The dude would just wake him up
everybody's time and ruin everybody's game.
He knew that they'd have competitions in the middle of the day, so he would go and take naps the night before. That way he would be rested, and then he'd keep people up all night yelling at him. That way that they'd get up and be tired for comps. That's what I want to see.
I will say I think my worst, just off the top of the head, I'm going to say 19 and 15 of your new generation of Big Brother. And then
I don't remember 3 or 4. I don't remember those seasons at all.
3 was the Daniel Reyes season, and 4 was June songs. They weren't bad. They were just the game wasn't what it is today.
Yeah,
I'd probably say 9 just because the way that they did it with the duos was pretty horrible.
Illuminati house. Are you guys into it? Tired of this Illuminati type house? They sacrificed their firstborn male child to the current HOH just to have safety. It is so true, man. And plus, that's the thing. As soon as the veto is done and they've named a replacement nominee, the HOH has 0 power for the next week and a half.
0.
They can't play, they can't control the vote, and they can't guarantee themselves safety. They're automatically on the block if people want them to be. So it's stupid. Bucks fans said 9, 9, and 18.
I kind of liked 18, but I did like Paul and Victor that season, so it made it pretty easy for me.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
funny. Yeah.
We've rambled enough. We're 29 minutes and 21 seconds left in here, and very quick football picks. One word, Garrett. Who's winning the Super Bowl? And it can't be your own team for any of us.
Buccaneers.
Charlie.
Ooh, okay. Cowboys.
I was gonna say Cowboys too. Oh no,
yeah, it's their year, man.
People are hot on the Cowboys this year, dude. This is
talking about.
I can't go Cowboys. I don't want to go any of your teams. Hold on, I'll pick an AFC team.
Okay.
Actually, you know what, man? No, I'm not going AFC. We're all going NFC. Cardinals, baby. Kyler Murray.
Okay.
You
doing
were
it.
riding that Cardinals train.
Year
That's
2.
respectable.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Make sure you like and subscribe. Click that little bell so you know when we go live. Daniel Reyes and said a bunch of our others would do a shorter Legend season, as they should, because I'm tired of this season. So until next time, guys, see ya.
Adios, amigos.